It's the NPC Puerto Rico Greater Coquí Classic. I know it's a long, it's a long
Yeah.
title, but it's a good title. It's to honor, the island. I'm excited to do this event with Tim Gardner. What most people don't know is because of a conversation of Tim Gardner and I back in 2014,
Uh-huh.
the reason that in 2015 the IMPC and the IFBB was brought to Puerto Rico, and I was
Wow.
able to help Tim Garner with that at the time.
Hey, welcome everyone to the Rise 41 podcast. I am your host, good old Gonzalo Herrero. And today I have the absolute pleasure of inviting a fellow Boricua Puerto Rican onto the podcast so that we can talk about bodybuilding and the IFBB in Puerto Rico, my homeland, mi corazón. So, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Luis H. Santa, who is an
Thank you.
IFBB Pro 212
Mhm.
class since 2011. He is now retired as of 2022 so that he can promote the sport and make the sport grow. And obviously, Puerto Rico is a place where we are seeing like a lot of the growth of the sport. But we'll get into that first. Welcome, and let me lead off with a quick question. Like we talked about, you've had a very unique path that got you here, from
Right.
competitive bodybuilding and now promoting major shows. What is it that's kept you so locked into bodybuilding? Is it love? What is it that's got you
It's,
going?
it's a it's a true passion. Well, thank you first of all, Gonzalo, for having me here. Definitely appreciate you guys inviting me. If I get a little nervous, I'm always nervous on the mic. I don't know why, but
Don't
I could
even
talk
worry about
for
it. You're just
I could
talking to
talk
a
forever
friend.
with people, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole
um,
camera thing. It's the whole camera thing.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Pretend it's not
But
here.
I wanted to be honest with you, bodybuilding I started back in 1993 going to a gym for the first time, and lifting some weights, like a regular bodybuilder, with my buddies. And I thought, man, this is pretty cool. I feel good. I feel great. I was a student being at the time. And then in 97, so everyone kept saying you should compete because you have a look like you could compete. And I was like, man, I'm not wearing those speedos. I used to call them I used to call them speedos myself.
Yeah.
They're trunks, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh,
I
we know
was
the fear. We know the fear,
but
you
I
know.
was like, I'm not getting on stage. No way. I'm not gonna show my physique almost naked to the world. And everything changed in 1996. In
Okay.
96, I decided, hey, I'm gonna compete next year. And the guys were like, "What? Yes, let's go." But I did everything on my own. I didn't have that much guidance or anything. I had friends that were competing and that were Mr. Puerto Ricos already.
Right.
And like we have Mr. Puerto Rico, Carlos Ayala, who actually lived with me for 6 months in my house.
Oh, wow.
Cholo, Cholo,
Yeah.
may he rest in peace. He just passed away a couple years ago.
Mhm.
But Mauricio Solis as well. He lived down the street from me. So it was all these Puerto Rico champions
Yeah. Yeah.
that I knew and that were going to the gym, but I didn't ask for no help. I just decided
Right.
to do things on my own from things that I was listening to.
So no
And
coaches, nothing. You just
no,
decided to
no,
go in.
no, it was just
Okay.
friendship stuff, whatever. Mauricio in 97 said, I'll help you out. And I went to my first show and competed, and that's where it began. But yeah, so true passion has been well, since 93. So we're talking about, 33 years of going at it,
Yeah, it's
still
a
training.
lifestyle.
But yeah, so it became a lifestyle, and at the same time, it's just passion for the sports. That's why I really love the sport. I love to see people competing, and going for their dreams. I think I congratulate everyone when they when they win their pro card, and if I kind of know them or I've seen them, or if I run across from them and I'm like,
Hmm.
hey man, congratulations on your win, and they're like, where did you see me? I was like, oh, I was judging.
That's
So they're
awesome.
like, oh shoot, I didn't even know you were one of this. Because sometimes, I mean, to be honest with you, when I competed, I never saw the judges.
Yeah.
And the reason for it, I was focused on just showing my physique and to the best of my ability,
Right.
and I didn't care to engage with the eyes, with the judges or the crowd, because
Interesting. Okay.
it was just a way. I don't know why, but it was almost like a time that I was able to completely shut everything out and
Hmm.
everyone at the same time. And but there was only one issue, is that I have a great hearing,
Uh,
and I could hear every single thing that was going on that stage,
yeah.
and what was going on in the crowd, and I was listening to everybody. And then I was like, okay, I need to make sure that this is my coach, and not
Yeah. Yeah.
not
It can
somebody
be.
else's coach.
I've only competed one time so far, but
Mhm.
it's like you said, it can be very overwhelming if you,
Yeah.
especially the first time when you don't know what to expect, and people are telling you, "Okay, this is your cue, move here, go
Yeah.
there." And if you
Oh,
have a
my
coach,
first time
yeah.
was at a mall.
Oh wow.
Puerto Rico, there's a mall that's called San Patricio Plaza,
Oh yes,
and
yes. Been
there's
there many
a
times.
show called La Copa Viva Más,
Hmm.
the Lift More Cup,
Yeah.
which is done by Mr. Ishmael as the promoter,
Hmm.
Ismael. And I went in '97 thinking, I was like, man, this can be at a theater or a stadium,
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
Some
know where I was
venue,
going.
some big venue or
And
something.
my buddy is taking me to the mall. And the thing is, back then you used to register right there and
Right.
then you would weigh in, and then you
Uh-huh.
would compete.
So it was one shot. Here we go.
It was so you didn't
Sign,
know, you
way,
just knew
go.
an address. And when I was told to go to the mall, I thought it was just a place to register, and then we would go somewhere else.
Right.
It was at the
But it was
mall,
actually
people
there.
in the
Yeah.
second and third floor looking at us from upstairs, and a stage, and then that was
Wow.
interesting. But
Well, things
that's
have
the
changed. Things have
yeah,
changed for sure. So
that's when I caught the bug. I caught the bug that day. So
I gotcha. And it's one of those things, like once you do it once, you'll either love it and be hooked, like me and my son and you,
right.
or you will hate it and never do it again.
Yeah,
It's one of those
yeah.
sports that's like
This
that.
is definitely not for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah,
It is
definitely.
a mental challenge to most, but definitely
Oh yeah.
that to answer your question. That's the reason why I continue to stay in it. I love it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And now and this is just real quick for the audience to understand. Luis
Hmm.
is also a service person, correct? You're in the
I'm
military?
yeah, I'm
Which
retired veteran from the Air Force, 23 and a half years. Yes.
so folks understand there's a whole career and bodybuilding. So for people who say you
Yes.
can't do it all, you can. It
Oh
takes
yeah.
effort.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
hard.
yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
tough, but you can get it done. Yeah. It's all about time management.
Yeah, yeah, time management and commitment. Well, it's funny, like a lot of people when they I used to be Luis, I don't know if I mentioned this before when we were chatting, but I used to be like 120 pounds heavier. I was a big dude, changed my life
Okay.
like 8, 9 years ago. And people always are like, well, how do you do it? With the full-time job and all that. It's like, well, you prioritize. You take your
Yeah.
time. You have 24 hours in the day and you decide what you're going to spend it on. If I've
Yeah.
got time to watch Netflix, I've got time to lift,
Yeah. Almost definitely.
so kind of like that. But anyway, let's talk about your latest venture project, which is the Puerto Rico Classic, the NPC Puerto Rico Classic, correct?
It's the NPC Puerto Rico Greater Coquí Classic. I know it's a long it's a long
Yeah.
title, but it's a good title. It's to honor the island. I'm excited to do this event with Tim Gardner. What most people don't know is because of a conversation of Tim Gardner and I back in 2014.
Uh-huh.
It's the reason that in 2015 the NPC and the IFBB was brought to Puerto Rico, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
able to help Tim Garner with that at the time.
Yeah.
We were in Alabama. I was stationed in
Right.
Montgomery, Alabama,
Uh-huh.
and there was a show. I believe it was in Huntsville,
Mhm.
um, and Tim Garner was judging there. He was the head judge, and Bobby Lupo was there. Cliff, one of the judges as well, was there. And then Cliff and I were talking, and I was like, I don't understand. Oh, he asked me, why aren't you doing a show in Puerto Rico? Why don't you
Right.
get shows in Puerto Rico? And I said, I don't. We can't do shows in Puerto Rico, which I don't understand why. We're a U.S. territory. We're a Commonwealth of the United
Right.
States of America,
Right.
but for whatever reason, we're considered an international place,
Yeah.
and we are with the IFBB International. So he was like, "Oh man, I just don't understand that. Yeah, that doesn't make sense." So he went, I guess, and had the conversation with Tim at the judges table, or when he was, around there. And Tim Garner is going to the bathroom, and I'm right next to the restroom at one of the booths. And he's
Right.
like, "Hey, we need to talk. And Louise, we need to talk." And I was like, "Not in the bathroom, man."
It's like,
And he
"Give me
said,
5
he's like,
minutes. Give me
he
a few
said, "No,
minutes."
no, no. I'm talking about after the event. Let's talk."
Right. Right.
So the event went on. We spoke about it. I explained it to him. He explained it to Jim Mannion. The conversation was had, and that's when the NPC IFBB in Puerto Rico was born. Thanks
Nice.
to me complaining. A little complaining actually did work.
It actually got something accomplished. Yeah.
That we weren't part of the NPC IFBB, and I was able to with him, to help in many areas to be able to bring the NPC IFBB to Puerto Rico in
Yeah.
2015, which was the first show, and that's when it just went from there. But in
Yeah.
2022 was the last year that they added. We had the hurricanes and all that stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just really tough. So last year, Tim was like, "Hey, Luis, I would really like to bring back, the Puerto Rico Pro to Puerto Rico." I couldn't think of a better ambassador partner for me to do it. So with
Mhm.
than you. And I said, "Dude, I didn't hesitate. I didn't even think about it twice. I said, count me in. I'm there with you." Puerto Rico has always been my dream to be able to have an event in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So this year, they're gonna have to hold me because once I'm there on that stage
I love
and
it.
uh and talking as a promoter,
Right. No, no, I am so loving that I ran across now that I'm learning about the sport.
Mhm.
I'm at the opposite end, right? Like in the sense that I came into it from the transformation side and
Right.
fitness, and I hit a point where I'm like, okay, clearly to get to my next physique goals, I'm gonna have
Hmm.
to explore bodybuilding. I'm gonna have to dive in and
Yeah.
explore, which is what actually brought this channel about, which is about human optimization. And bodybuilding is one of those things, weight training, right? That can be
Yeah.
used, you know, competitively, of course, but also for your health and well-being, like anything, you could balance it out. But anyway, so the 2026 classic is definitely like generating some buzz out there. So let's see, what's your mission? And you've kind of described it a little bit already in terms of community impact in Puerto Rico. Is it to bring your athletes forward? What do you hope to accomplish? What are your goals by putting the event on
So
and promoting?
the goal is simple, and it's actually probably the most common sense thing that you can actually do for our folks in the island. How do I get you to qualify for a pro qualifier in the US for you not to spend a whole lot of money
Right.
traveling to the US, having to take a plane, having to rent a vehicle, having to get a hotel,
Hmm.
when I can have you do so in your own island?
Right. Right.
So having the event there will completely scratch a lot of those things that you're actually spending money on,
Sure.
and it will make it easier. able for you to save later and come do a pro qualifier here in the States. And my goal is to even in the future have I don't care if it's just one pro card,
Uh-huh.
at least one pro card. So Puerto Rico Pro and the NPC Greater Puerto Rico Coquí Classic to be a pro qualifier as well.
Nice.
We have to have the numbers though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we
that
need to
is
grow it.
yes,
So this
most
event
definitely.
is tactical in the sense that it's going to
Yes,
hopefully grow it even more, grow the sport. And you're
we got.
right.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah,
No,
go
we
ahead.
got to show the league. We got to show the league that hey, there is participation in this in the country. There's the amount of athletes is pretty large to the point where we can have a qualifier here. A
Yeah.
good buddy of mine, Serge Tariq, one of the judges as well, international judges, a pro judge. He has the Bahamas show
Hmm.
where they have a pro qualifier. My goal is to be able to do that in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and that would be great. Another thing for the audience that may not be as nuanced in bodybuilding is that so stress and cortisol are bad things for bodybuilders. So when you're traveling somewhere, I don't think a lot of people who are not deep into sport understand this. It affects the athlete
Yes, it
because
does.
if you're stressed out, your cortisol, it literally
Hmm.
change your look. It'll make you either retain water or
Yeah.
it makes it more difficult. So by
Yes, it
having
does.
everything
Yeah.
on the island, you're controlling for that and helping the athletes out, which
So yeah.
is
That's the reason. And just to be able to have that event in Puerto Rico is a big deal for me because I'm bringing you the cream of the crop in bodybuilding, which is the IFBB, MPC, and IFBB Pro League
mhm,
to my own island.
yeah,
I came out of Puerto Rico. I am from Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico. Um, yeah, I want to I want to give them the best.
yeah,
So, and this is also the same vision that I'm showing you right now is the same one that Tim Garner has.
yeah.
Tim Garner's wife is Puerto Rican, Eileen.
Oh, I did not know that.
So
Okay.
yeah, she's from Carolina, and
Shoot.
uh,
Neighbors.
so yes, so that's the thing. So this is the same vision from Tim Garner as well. So that's why this partnership is actually working
Yeah.
because we're both in the same mindset,
Hmm.
and I think he is as passionate as I am. He'll tell you he is more passionate than I am
Hmm.
because of course we're gonna fight about it, which that's the good thing about how much passion we have for the sport. But I
Yeah.
think Tim has been able to prove it for with the years of promoting that he's been doing and at the levels that he's gotten to even judge the Olympia. So
Yeah.
um that
Yeah.
that's to me that's very big. So I I couldn't have asked for a better person to be able to bring the shows to Puerto Rico, and he has been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So me being on board, man, this is a blessing.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a perfect partnership to move this thing
Yes, sir.
forward. So, and another thing that I want to say again for our audience is that you have to understand that something about Puerto Rican culture and our fandom, we are in a way it reminds me a lot of like Brazilian fans with their people in that we are super place proud and we are
Oh, yeah,
very supportive of our athletes. Very,
very
notice.
supportive and very passionate.
Yes.
Uh, Sometimes it could be a little toxic.
It can be a little detrimental. That's true. It
Uh,
absolutely can be.
and that's one of the things that I spoke about at the seminar. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring a seminar because it wasn't just for the athletes. It was for the coaches, for the gym owners, for the for personal trainers, that just do the training portion,
Right.
and it's like, hey, we can all have a healthy rivalry. We don't have to be enemies to and block people from doing an athlete from doing a show here and there just because you don't like the promoter or you don't like
Right.
the federation. And I was like, let's think a little bit more outside the box. How do we help our athletes grow?
Yeah.
And the only way you help the athlete grow to become a an Olympian is to be able to compete, to be able
Yeah.
to go outside of the country, to be able to come get their pro card.
Hmm.
But facilitating a cheaper version by just keeping it in the country to be able to qualify the national qualifier. So now we have three events in Puerto Rico that are national qualifiers,
Wow.
and that is super big for the NPC.
That's phenomenal. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I wanted to mention to you totally, how we were talking about how the world is so tiny and we don't even
Hmm.
realize. My posing coach, or my son and I, our posing coach, Michael Williams, I believe got his pro card in Puerto Rico at some point, is what he
Oh, really?
mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to check that. I don't know. He mentioned it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check it
So,
out.
yeah, he's great guy, great guy too. So
Nice. That's
again, the
awesome.
world is small, and for those in the audience that don't know, the reason we mention Alabama is that I'm located currently in Alabama. So
Oh, okay.
again,
Nice.
it's the world is a small place
Yes.
for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
So all right, so let's dive into a couple of questions just to pick your brain a little bit since
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
been around the block. So Puerto Rico has a reputation we've talked about for producing some pretty disciplined, gritty athletes, specifically a lot boxers, for example. Like we
Right.
have a reputation for boxing. Is there
Hmm.
something in our island culture you think that forges that kind of like hardcore competitor? If you,
I think of Puerto Rico pride. I mean, you're Puerto Rican, so I think the pride. We hate to lose.
yeah, we hate to lose,
I
and we're
mean,
so
I know.
tiny. We're such a tiny
So
island. So
I know everyone says they hate to lose, but no, we really hate to lose,
we do.
and so we fight to win. Not only that, when you are in a tiny island like ours, and with 4 million people, and you're wanting to get that opportunity to be able to go places outside of Puerto Rico, you fight to win. You fight to be better at whatever it is. Look at the amount of baseball players in the Major League Baseball
Yeah,
from Puerto Rico, from the island,
yeah,
and the numbers keep growing. Same as Dominican Republic, their island is small, so they
yeah,
do the same. It's that same pride, that same culture of you gotta do better.
yeah,
At least my times, my parents didn't allow me to stay in my house during the day. If I was off, I had to go out and play.
yeah,
Like I wasn't asking for permission. I was actually told you better go do
yeah.
something.
Go get something
Um,
done. Yeah,
yeah, go get something done. Because
yeah.
so I played as many sports as you can name. I probably played it. Uh,
Nice.
so so to them, that was it. I had to do something. So it is it is a culture. It's a pride thing. It's like you have to be even better than the next guy, but in a friendly way still, because we still motivate each other.
Yeah,
I have a lot of friends in the bodybuilding community that are Puerto Ricans that I actually went against, and I beat them and they beat me, and we still stay friends. That's the one thing I'll say in bodybuilding,
yeah.
at least on the men's side. Um, man, we don't have those rivalries backstage that are like, hey man, I wanna punch
Yeah,
you, or
that's true. That's
no.
true. It's
Instead,
always
it's like,
friendly. It's always
yeah,
like an admiring your rival thing of like,
yeah, yeah,
like who brought the best package? Let's see.
yeah.
You know?
So, and that's the thing. And then when they would go on stage, of course they're looking at each other backstage to see how they
Yeah.
look and everything. I mean, that
Yeah.
happens in every bodybuilding show. But man, we would go out there and just like, once the person stepped down, they're like, man, you did awesome, look great,
Yeah.
bro. So we're complimentary against each other as well. So yeah, I think like I said, culture and passion. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So let's see. What other things could we ask about the are there so do you find that as a Puerto Rican competitor, do we ever find misconceptions from the other side, from like people from other countries making assumptions? Have you ever run into anything like that as a competitor,
Um,
or not really?
Like in what areas?
Like,
Give me an
like
example.
assuming that because we come from the island and it's small, that we're not going to be competitive,
Oh
or that
yes,
there's no
yes.
talent, or that kind of.
Well, and we do get that sometimes. But I don't. I have to say that it's gotten better.
Yeah.
When I went to, for example, I went to the Antilles Championship
Hmm.
in Dominican Republic in 1999, and there was only two of us that were competing and representing our country or representing the island. There was people that had three, four athletes, and we had to do a preliminary because there was so many people, and
Right.
then uh, top top 15 would actually go into the Rio prejudging. So you had a
Gotcha.
preliminary look where judges just will look at you and say, "No, he's not competing. No, he's not competing. No, he's not competing." And then, I mean, so
Wow. So,
it was tough.
yeah.
It was tough because there was so many athletes, but we only had two.
Hmm.
Luckily, me and my partner, which we were in the same class,
Uh-huh.
we were both middleweights at the time.
Right.
Um, we both qualified
So you made it
for the
through.
prejudging. Yes, I took third, and he took sixth
Nice. Okay.
in
All
our
right.
class, and against 15 athletes at prejudging.
Right.
But it wasn't because I was prejudging. The prejudging really, if you will, started the
Even
day
before then.
prior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had 30, 40 athletes in just middleweights
Hmm.
that were right there, and there was judges saying he's not, he's not, he's not, he's not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can only imagine how would you feel if you go to travel to a country to represent your country, and you all of a sudden do not even qualify to be able to show yourself on
Right.
stage.
Right.
I felt bad for those guys, but I guess it was the way they did it at the time,
Yeah.
and it was tough. And I think the physique that we brought, I was lucky to be able to to get my third place. I'm still mad because I think I should have taken second.
We always think that, right? Like, well,
Yeah,
we could have
no,
placed
most
better.
definitely. No,
Yeah.
that's what we always say, but the judges got it right. It was a good show. The guys were I brought a lot of fullness,
Hmm.
a lot of round belly muscle, and I was hard, but not as shredded and grainy as I needed to be.
I got you.
It was only my second year competing. So I needed a little more, but even so, people were like, "That's crazy! Only 2 years, you look like that."
Yeah,
So
yeah, and that's the thing. And the other thing, like, people have to realize is that you can, as a competitor, all you can control is you. That's
yeah,
it. And whoever comes, you could have a guy that's a genetic freak that ate a pizza the night before and just happens to look better that day and
that's
can win it, which is a pain in the ass because
yeah, no,
you
it
busted
happens.
your butt.
Yeah,
So, but you can only
yeah.
control you.
You can
That's the
only
only
control
variable.
yourself. The judges will choose what they see best,
Yep.
and to be honest with you, I don't think I complain. I can complain about one show and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, they got it wrong."
Yeah.
You know, I got my placings made. Was I hurt by my placings at some of the shows? Yes, of course, because I was upset with me.
Hmm.
Like, man, I don't know what went wrong. Should have been better. But
Yeah.
I wasn't upset. Like, man, these guys don't know what they're looking at. Whatever. I get it. Some people do feel that way,
Yeah.
but for me, I don't feel like they ever got it wrong.
Gotcha.
So,
So, let me ask you a question back to the event. If
mhm.
somebody from the island is not aware that we're having these events, and now that we're promoting with Tim Gardner, hopefully, with the NPC and IFBB, it'll blow up. People will be
Oh yeah.
aware of that opportunity. Are you looking forward to having people travel actually from outside back to Puerto Rico? People maybe from the States, from other
Yes.
countries, from Europe, eventually
Yes.
growing the event, right? That it
Oh,
becomes
most
like a
definitely. So
destination.
one of the things that we're doing is we're actually talking to Tyler Manning
Hmm.
about a possibility or of having one area of the show where we're just gonna do the NPC Puerto Rico Classic,
Uh-huh.
not the Coquí Classic Greater Puerto Rico, meaning the NPC Puerto Rico Classic, which will be an honor to the Mission Puerto Rico
Oh, nice. Okay.
from when we were in International Federation
Yeah.
over there in the island. So
Nice.
the thing is that only residents of Puerto Rico will be able to compete for
Makes
that
sense because it's
that
for the
title.
nation. It's for the nation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's the nations, but guys that are residents of Puerto Rico that are living in the States,
Right.
they can go back and still try to get go
Okay.
for that title. The only thing is that it will not be the show that will qualify you to a national level show. Only the Greater Coquí Puerto Rico Classic will be the one to qualify you for the nationals.
Yeah, imagine if we get to grow that to the point that it becomes like because Puerto Rico is honestly a beautiful place. Like if you have the
Yeah.
opportunity, if you've never been to people who have never been to Puerto Rico, it is not because we're from there. I get Google it if you don't believe me. It is one of
Yeah,
the most beautiful
it
places on
is
the
beautiful.
planet.
Oh, it is.
So it would make sense to promote the event, the Coquille, to the point that international people could, I mean, you could go there, compete,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then just stay there and
I
have a
have
vacation.
Yeah, I had people from Trinidad, from the NPC Worldwide that are looking
Mhm.
to doing the show as well.
Yeah.
From all the islands, San Thomas as well, that are
Yeah.
looking into going into Puerto Rico and competing at the show. So yeah, I mean, it is an NPC USA, NPC Worldwide, and an IFBB Pro League show. So
Yeah.
it is an all three.
Absolutely. So now let me ask you questions about you've been in the sport for a long, long time. So you've seen it evolve throughout the
Mhm.
last, you said 33 years. It's a long
33
time.
years.
So tell me, what are things that you've seen out of the sport evolve that you enjoyed? Like, for example, do you like the inclusion of men's physique, for example, to give the opportunity to different types of athletes? What's your
Definitely
opinion on
yes.
that?
Well,
Mhm.
not just match physique, but I think and even now when we just got the fit model division started
Right,
in the wellness division that which is not very old either. Um the when I competed was men's bodybuilding and women's bodybuilding.
right.
That's when I
That's
started.
it.
That was it. Nothing else.
Boys,
We didn't
girls, go.
Yes, we didn't have women's figure. We
Yeah,
didn't have women's physique. We didn't have bikini. We didn't have wellness. And we had fitness. Well, fitness started a little later.
right.
But where I'm going with this is it's evolved in a beautiful way in the sense of everyone now has a place to compete, a home.
Yeah,
What I
yeah.
mean by that is you have the like for the wellness girls, women that have the more muscular lower bottom than the upper body.
Hmm.
Now they have a home where they can compete and they
Right.
can showcase how hard they work their legs
Hmm.
to be able to compete. It's the only division that is asymmetrical.
Oh
All
yeah.
the other divisions are symmetrical, but that's the only division that is asymmetrical. So therefore, it is amazing that what they can do in that division because that's the look that those girls are looking for. So now they have a home. Men's physique, for example, I have a buddy of mine who was he was a police officer
Hmm.
and he got into an altercation where with one of with an individual where there was a shootout. He got shot on the leg.
Oh wow.
He couldn't work out his legs anymore because he had some issues with the some damage to his leg. Therefore, he was a bodybuilder prior to that, and he was a good one at it.
Right.
He became a men's physique competitor,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
That makes
even
sense.
turned
And now he
pro
has a
at it.
home. He has a place where he can still compete.
Yeah, and even turned pro at it. So,
Yeah. Oh
it
wow.
was it was he found a home in men's physique because of
Hmm.
that. The fit model division, the bikini. division has evolved to a little more muscular, harder look in bikini. Um, and unfortunately, it's just what happens. They get better and better at the division.
Mm.
Then the league said, "All right, how can we continue to reward the girls that are continuing to go to the gym,
Hmm.
do everything that a bikini girl would do, but do not have that muscle size or that hardness,
Right.
then let's create fit model."
Hmm.
So that's what we went back to. So I think it's evolved great, where all these divisions are allowing or giving a home to everyone.
Have you wondered one thing I've noticed, and disclaimer, I compete in men's physique because even though I got great legs, keep getting told
Hmm.
I know I don't have the size to compete in classic. I'm not anywhere near
Okay.
that. Plus I compete with my son. So, that way
Okay.
we can compete together. And
Okay.
that's another thing, by the way, speaking of things that are positive of the sport, there are very few other sports that are so inclusive of people as bodybuilding. And what do I mean by that? I mean, for example, my son is a young man who lives with Down syndrome, and he can
Okay.
compete, no problem. Matter of fact, the people here have been very receptive and very helpful
Yeah.
to him.
Mhm.
Also, I know that there are competitions for people who are, say, wheelchair bound, for example. They can also compete. There are
We have
divisions
the
for that.
wheelchair division. Yes.
So
So,
that's another thing I love
you
about
live in
bodybuilding.
Alabama. Do
Mhm.
you know a guy named Gator Gates?
No, I do not, but I'll find out
So
real quick.
Gator Gates is a pro bodybuilder,
Mhm.
and his son has Down syndrome, Chaz Gates,
Uh-huh.
and he competes in bodybuilding, and he competed with his dad
Oh,
with
we gotta
Down
meet him.
syndrome.
I gotta meet him.
So you understand, how pretty much that it's been happening for many, many years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, I mean, we have blind folks that will compete in the events,
Mhm.
and we give them that platform, or that stage to be able to do so.
Yeah.
There is blind folks that have turned pro,
Yeah.
and are competing in the pro stage.
Yeah.
There's folks that have a prosthetic, and we give them a stage for that as well. So everything in this sport, we're very inclusive on that side, and I think it's a great deal. It's what I said prior. Is about giving you a home to be able to do your thing, and
Mhm.
I the we may not have a wall in the background with your story, but a lot of people can almost get what the story is, um, of why you're competing. And that's the reason I don't make fun of the guy that is not in shape whatsoever,
Right.
that is on stage, and they come out, all the photos on social media, making fun of that guy or whatever. But I'm like,
Right.
you don't know what happened for that person to get there,
Yeah.
or how many hundreds of pounds you may have lost to have gotten there,
Yeah.
or maybe a family member or sibling wished that they would see them on a stage before they passed away or something. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, there's so many variables and things that can be the reason for it, but it is what it is.
I
I
mean, there are
mean,
so many beautiful stories and personal
mhm,
anecdotes in this sport. And this sport lends itself to that because it's a very internal sport, too. Because in order to make it to that stage, you have to kind of do the battle yourself. Nobody can do it for you. You have to be
no,
there, you have to do it.
yes,
You have
it's
to
all
make the
you.
choices, right? Day
I
in, day
mean,
out,
I
years
have
and
to say,
years.
family support is big. It's important, but I
Yeah.
mean, definitely, it's a battle that you're going through with, yourself, and it's a very mental battle as well. Bodybuilding is very mental as well. Some people deal with it a lot easier than others.
Hmm.
Some people can't deal with it at all, and to the point where they'll just do one show and say no more.
Right.
That was very hard on my emotional self. So I can't do it. So,
Yeah.
and I respect them for it no matter what.
Absolutely. And I think for those who haven't done it, the thing I discovered surprisingly is that the mental aspect, the discipline with say nutrition, for example, during contest prep, that is actually harder than lifting the weights, if
Hmm.
that makes any sense. Because
Well, it
lifting
does.
the weights, it's intense for an hour or two, but you're done. The other stuff, the nutritional part, the sleeping, the recovery, all of that is day in, day out, all the
Yes, sir.
time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, it's a tough one to for somebody who hasn't done it to kind of get. But ultimately it's also one of the reasons it's so satisfying when
Oh
you
yeah.
finally get to that stage. And I know, like, some people have asked me, like, you did all that work, or we do all that work as bodybuilders
Right.
for that 1 minute on stage. But that's okay. That's what we want. That's what we signed up for. That's what we need. So,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing for sure. So, Luis, anything you want to promote, discuss, share with the audience that you haven't yet? Anything you want to
I
add?
mean, the show is April 18th, and it'll be in at the convention center in Puerto Rico in San Juan.
Hmm.
The host hotel is the Hyatt Place San Juan.
Hmm.
We have the link at tingarnerproductions.com,
And
so
I will
you
put all
can.
this information when this
Okay,
episode comes
yeah,
out. All of this information, folks, will be
okay.
down there because,
And you
I
guys can
mean,
also reach out to me at my Instagram. So you
absolutely.
have my Instagram, so you can share it, and they can go ahead and just follow me there, and I will be putting all the updates for the event.
Yeah, and I'll be sharing those stories
Mhm.
and posts too for sure because we want to make this thing big. I would love for this to grow to the point that people from like Europe say, "No, I want to go to that event, to the Coquí Classic. That's a can't miss event." That's
Yeah.
the kind
Oh,
of
most definitely.
growth that we
That's
want.
where we're trying to build it to, and
Yeah.
to be honest with you, it's gonna be a pretty badass. So
Oh, I'm
we can't
sure.
wait.
And like, so for folks who don't know, the convention center that Luis is talking about is beautiful. It's
Oh, it
amazing.
is
It's an
insane.
incredible venue right
It
on
is
the
huge.
beach. It's huge and pretty,
Oh yeah,
and
you can walk from the convention center to the beach. So
yeah, yeah,
a lot of
literally.
the athletes, a lot of the athletes, they come out and they have
Mhm.
photographers already waiting
Yeah,
after the show, and they just go and do some shooting between prejudging and finals.
heck yeah. You've got the most beautiful backdrop you're ever gonna have.
Yes.
You got
Oh, most
Caribbean beach
definitely.
right there for you. So
Yes, sir.
well, Luis, it has been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck with everything. I'm looking forward for my son and I to compete next year. I wish I had known, except that we're in the off season now. I need to grow a lot more for your show.
No, hey, you're good. Just like I was saying earlier, it's just a matter of staying mentally healthy,
Yeah,
physically healthy, doing it the right way. I always promote doing it as healthy as possible.
yeah,
Got to get your meals in, got to get your cardio in, and got to get all that training done.
that's right. That's
And
right.
to train smart, not
Yeah.
not to train crazy to the point where you're going to injure yourself.
Hmm.
In the many years of me competing, the only time that I actually got hurt
Uh-huh.
physically was after I retired.
Really? Okay. Like
Yes.
just bad movement one day or something.
So there was a machine that we want. So a buddy of mine wanted to train with me,
Uh-huh.
and we were at the gym and coincidentally ran into each other. We're like, "Hey,
Right.
what's going on? How's it going?" Blah blah. He's like, "We hit it today." I'm like, "I'm hitting chest," and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, me too, man." And he's like, let's do a incline barbell."
Hmm.
I was like, "I don't touch bars." I told him I don't touch bars because I don't. I
Yeah.
hadn't touched bars in probably 10 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
I learned at an early time frame of my bodybuilding career that the bars are not as great for you as the isolated movements are.
That's right.
And
Hmm.
so this machine was one machine that you had the weight, the bar racked, but you could push it forward.
Uh-huh.
and then so it would move forward, and
Mhm.
then you would pull it out. I had a 135 pounds.
Uh-huh.
I had one plate. That's it.
The
A 145 plate on each side. I pressed it to the front.
uh,
I went up, and my shoulder, I felt it.
the snap. The
No, I just felt like, well, yeah, the snap, but I'm saying like I didn't hear it, but I
but
felt it.
you knew something was wrong. You knew
I was
something
like,
was wrong.
I did one rep.
Uh-huh.
I came back down. I put it back, and I said, "All right, brother, I'm out. I'm leaving." And he's
Wow.
like, "You okay?" And I was like, "No, definitely, there's something that is not right." And I was feeling the warmth, like the shoulder
Yeah.
very warm, and everything. And the next day, the pool of blood, you know,
Mhm.
on the bottom of my, my chest and everything,
Yeah.
and actually on the bottom of my armpit. I was like, "Man, this is not
That's
not
never
good."
good.
So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
so went to the surgeon and had an appointment, and they said I had a pretty bad three labrum tears,
Oh.
slap tear,
Oh.
rotator cuff was out of socket,
Oh my
and
God.
they had to take my long head bicep and
And
take
reattach
it
it.
off and attach it to the humerus.
Oof.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's all good. But
Yeah.
it's great now. I've been lifting since that was back in 2023, which is crazy because it was 2 years after I retired.
Right. No, but you,
Um,
like you said, it's about training smart. I think that's another
yeah.
message we can leave with the audience. Bodybuilding, true bodybuilding, honestly, is about consistent effort over a long period of time. And it's not about doing the crazy thing, the heroic effort. It's about being
24
systematic.
years I competed on a stage for
Right.
24 years,
And never got injured.
and I never got injured.
Yeah. And that's how it is.
The 2 years after I retired,
Well,
I
it's and who knows, maybe the other thing is like, as we age, maybe we're like adding wear and tear, which is inevitable,
and
it's
we are. That's the one thing that is inevitable. Depending, I started training as a powerlifter,
mm. Oh,
and
wow.
then I transitioned to bodybuilding because
Mhm.
everyone kept bugging me and nagging to me, "Oh, you look good as a bodybuilder. You have the
Yeah.
physique, you have the X frame." And I was like, "Man, you guys are looking at me too much." I was like,
Well,
"Quit
hey,
looking."
if you
But
got the
no,
genetics.
these were bodybuilders that were Mr. Puerto Rico already, and they're like, "No, it's just we see the potential that you have, and you can do so good." And they were right. I competed 97 all the way through 2000 in the island, and then of course I continued to train because I joined the military in 2001.
Right.
But in 2001, I couldn't. There was so much stuff that happened. 9/11,
Yeah.
the war in 2003,
Mhm.
Iraq, Saudi, all the places that I had to go to.
Right.
Wasn't able to compete, but I kept training for it. And then in 2007, I got back on that stage, and then I didn't stop until 2021. Every single year, competing.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, the body takes a toll, but
Yeah.
I was training heavy. I was the kind of guy that I would train heavy. And it's funny because I was in Puerto Rico, training with a good friend of mine, Yasmin Fonseca. She's a national level figure competitor. Super good friends with my wife, and we decided to do a shoulder workout. And I was
Mhm.
doing Arnold's with 50 pounds, and I was like, man, I remember when these were 120.
But that's
So
okay though.
I
It's
cannot
it's
touch those anymore.
yeah, and again, it's about using the right tool for the right job at the right moment.
Yes, sir.
It's every time we insert ego, we get hurt. Every
Yes,
time.
sir.
Every single time. So
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah. So let me ask you, when you were competing, um, did you compete multiple times a year or did you do like the big off season and then one or two big shows close together? How did you work that out?
So I got to compete at up to 4 shows a year at one
Okay.
point. Um, but that was when I was an amateur trying to go for my pro card.
Gotcha.
But that was back in 2009. I
Mhm.
did the Muscle Mayhem in Kansas City, Missouri,
Mhm.
Chad Nichols show in 2009. Then I went to do the junior nationals, and I won that show. But back then, you couldn't turn pro and winning show,
Oh,
winning your class. So that was my first national level win, but that was my first national level show. So that gave me motivation that I could compete against others in the country.
yeah.
And then I won the USA's right after in July that same year
Mhm.
in Vegas, and that's the one that had put me in the spot to be the number one welterweight in the country at the time.
Wow.
And then, but I was battling that top spot with Chavez Higa,
Mhm.
who was the another top welterweight at the time. He's a pro as well, and we went to the nationals.
Uh-huh.
The problem was that, and I say a problem was because I used to play baseball,
Right.
and while playing ball in 2009, I mean 2007, I actually tore my medial meniscus on my right
Uh-huh.
leg. So I had been training the whole time like that.
Uh-huh.
But after the USA's, 2 days after, so I left, Vegas on Sunday. When I got home to Colorado on Monday, I was
Uh-huh.
getting my surgery on my right leg. And then this is August 1st. And November, I was already competing at the Nationals
Oh, wow.
with, with
Oh, boy.
surgery on my right leg. So I took fifth at the Nationals.
Yeah.
And then, so that was my fourth show that year. And then I decided, maybe I need to shut it down for a little less shows. Then I went to the USA's again the year after in 2010, and I won it again.
Mhm.
Um, and then in 2000 that year, I was struggling to make weight.
Really?
So
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah. So I
Okay.
was not a welterweight anymore, but I didn't want to admit it. I being told, hey, you're the top welterweight in the country was a great feeling, and
Sure.
I was like, you know what? Why would I go to middleweights if I
Yeah,
can get my
yeah. If
pro
you're
card
right here at the
as a welter?
Mhm.
Well, in 2010, I couldn't make the weight twice at the uh at the uh at the event, at the check-ins,
Yeah.
and I had to do all kinds of stuff to like from sauna,
Yeah.
passing out in the sauna,
Yeah. All the
to
extreme things that we really try not to
be
do, but
able to correct, to be able
yeah.
to make the weight. I make the weight on my third try right before they closed check-ins,
Wow.
and I couldn't load back up to look how I usually looked. I was always shredded.
Yeah.
So in 2010, I took my worst national level placing, which was eighth place, and
Right.
to me that was devastating. Again, I'm Puerto Rican. I hate to lose.
Yeah, we don't take that well. We don't do
So
that well.
I I listen, the day after I went to the gym, I was told to rest. I went to the gym and I was already prepping for 2011. And I only did one show in 2011, which was the
Mhm.
USA's.
Right.
And that's when I went as a middleweight. I went up in class because I didn't care for whether I was top welter or not.
Yeah.
Which in the magazines back then, everyone thought I was going to be a welter again. So they put me on the magazine. That's
Mhm.
one of the favorites to win the show. The USA's again. Was I going to make a three-peat? Because not many people win the same show three times in a row.
Yeah.
Um, and back then it was you couldn't turn pro by just winning your class.
Yeah.
So you have to win it in the overall. So
Oh, one
2009,
thing, if I may
huh?
interject, just real
Yeah,
quick,
no, go ahead.
guys. Back in the day when he's talking about this, is like the internet was somewhat new, and there were
Yeah.
magazines, and the
Yes.
magazines were important, okay, because that's what
Yes.
got you sponsorship and attention. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
like now with Instagram and TikTok that you have situations like a Sam Sulek that just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere and was an
Yeah.
influencer first, even though he looks phenomenal. Uh, I'm going to the Arnold this year, so I'll be seeing
Oh,
him on
nice, nice.
stage.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if you're
there's a
are
lot
you
of
going?
no, no, there's a lot of folks that nowadays that if it was the Instagram ways back then we would have been famous, let's just say,
Yeah, yeah.
because what we were doing on that stage.
Mhm.
It was, the physiques that we were putting on stage were completely insane. So
Yeah.
we would have been famous in a way, but
Yeah, you would have been right up
we
there. You would have been right in
but we
there. Yeah.
were in a way with the magazines, to get a one page was good, but to get a six page spread in a magazine was like the ultimate
Yeah.
deal.
And
And to get the cover, I never got a cover in a magazine, but I
mhm.
got a good amount of magazines where I had 6 pages inside,
Nice.
doing workouts and everything, and to be able to do that, it was insane. It was like, holy crap, I actually made it
Yeah, yeah.
more than one
That's when
page.
you knew you made it for sure. When they put you in the magazine, like you said, like 6 pages, that's
Oh
the
yeah,
big time.
do a full article and training session and everything with you,
Yeah.
um, it was tough to get. That was hard to accomplish.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, in 2011, that was my third time winning the USA's, and it was 4 pro cards in the overall.
Hmm.
That day, Steve Kuklo won the overall of the USA's. I got the next pro card
Yeah.
with John De La Rosa and Tamer Gundy. So we were
Nice.
the other three that got their pro cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so it was also a good amount of folks that they have done great things as well. Tamer Gundy decided to go into promoting,
Hmm.
and I don't think he ever competed as a pro, but he's a great promoter on the west coast of the nation, in California, and he's the
Hmm.
the muscle contest, the muscle contest guy. So him and his brother Tariq,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I mean, you've seen it all. It sounds like you've been through it. You've seen it all. You've seen the evolution. You know, another thing I was going to ask you, how do you see, so bodybuilding, it seems to me, and maybe it's just because I came into it late in the game, but it seems to have become far more mainstream in the last
Mhm.
4 or 5 years than it used to be. And I suspect part of that is that the stigma of testosterone and TRT becoming like a well-known benefit, good for your health practice, kind of leads people into, so now that you're healthy and your hormones are in place, you can do this. You can do this
Yeah.
bodybuilding thing, you
I
know?
think it's two things. I think the stigma from the steroid use,
Yeah,
because everyone wants to call it steroids, of course, and then it's that was a taboo wording back
it
in the days.
was. For us growing
To
up,
even
remember with Mark McGuire and all that back in the
Oh yeah,
day, it
so
was
yeah, you couldn't
mm-mm.
say the word steroid whatsoever. That
Yeah.
was a super taboo.
Hmm.
But the reality is that that also social media has helped out,
Hmm.
get rid of a lot of that. Um, TRT or HRT, how
Hmm.
some wants to, depending on how you want to call it, because you don't have to have hormone replacement therapy just with testosterone.
That's
You
right.
can do other things, but it has become more popular because people have taken the shame out of it
Yeah.
and realized that if I am on maybe a hormone replacement therapy, I can function a little better.
Yeah.
I remember when Viagra was oh, don't say that, don't talk about that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
people are just gonna think that you have an erectile dysfunction and you're gonna be looked at as different.
Yeah. Immediately. You're a pariah.
Now
Yep.
now men are talking about Viagra like it's candy,
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I get my Viagra every month and all this and that. But you know what? The reality is that it's helping some folks keep their marriage
Yeah.
alive,
Yeah.
their relationships, and also their health.
Yeah.
So I always say everything in moderation is can be done. But if you abuse something, it is definitely gonna hurt you.
Well, and
But
that's where
that goes with
people,
alcohol, that goes
yeah.
with smoking, that goes with shoot, that goes with a simple Advil. You can take something for pain, but if you take too much, you're gonna intoxicate yourself.
It's hey, something as simple and basic as food, you know? You can abuse food. People do that all the time and they don't even realize it, you know? So, that's a primary example of a situation like that. And the other thing is that on the female side, finally, we're talking about hormone balancing for middle-aged women, which,
Yes.
that was huge. 20 years ago, there
Well,
was that terrible
and,
study, right?
and it's helping in a lot of the and people will talk about menopause, on women, but they don't talk about perimenopause.
Right, right.
I'm no expert to the ladies listening out there,
Mhm.
but I think I'm gonna actually speak on their behalf on saying, you know what, we need more research on it, and we also need help.
Yes.
So a lot of the females that are going through perimenopause may not be complete menopause, but they're going through some changes. And you know what? There is stuff out there that can help them. And sometimes low testosterone is a reality in women as well
Yeah, yeah.
that is happening, and the reason why perimenopause is happening. So,
Yeah, a lot of
yeah, I
people don't
think
realize that testosterone is a human hormone, not a male
yeah,
one.
I
Like,
know it's not a male or female hormone,
Yeah, it's just the
but
proportions that they're in the body and what
but
you
it
need
can
to be on.
cause a lot of bad things to happen when you are lacking it.
For sure. If you're off
If
balance.
it is
Yeah.
not if it's unbalanced, that's the word.
Mhm.
If you're unbalanced, you know what? You can forget about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And by the way, I don't know if you're familiar with Hormones for Me and Ryan Root, but he has been on this podcast and spoken about this topic. So I'll make sure to put that information also in the comments here for anyone who's interested in hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement therapy to do it the right way. That's who you should contact, by the way. So sorry,
You got
sidebar,
it.
but he's a good
No,
friend
you're
of
good.
mine. I got to plug him.
You're good.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the, let's. Are you comfortable if we talk about the PD side of the equation for a minute, just to give folks who may not understand, like, so in the in the current state of very competitive bodybuilding, of course, there's performance
Right.
enhancement drug use. It happens. Uh, but it does seem again that the stigma is being broken and that people are starting to understand, like, if you are a competitive bodybuilder in this realm, you may need to deal with this,
Well,
you know?
in that area, I won't talk much about it. I always say leave it to the experts.
Yes.
I mean, we're not blind.
Right.
We're not dumb
We're
and
not dumb.
stupid.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say I can somewhat agree with your statement, but I'll stay I'll
And
stay
what I will say is this: anyone considering that should really be very careful to look into the pros and cons and always
yes.
make sure that whatever decision they make, it is one with your health and future in mind. Because I see
And
way too many kids on TikTok
the
talking
one
about,
advice the one
yeah,
advice I can give is don't try to get big in one day.
exactly. It's a long game. It's a year's game.
I mean, it the abuse will always create issues for everything.
Yep. Agreed. 100%. Again, if you're going to explore the sport, understand that it takes years of dedication in order to become competitive in this sport. Even if you're a genetic freak, you still got to put in the work. You still have to get in there.
Well, yeah, and then which is what a lot of people don't realize. They don't want to put in the time they think it's going to happen. I've had folks that ask me, yeah, how can I look like you in about 6 months or so? Um, I understand sometimes is the no knowledge is what
Right.
I understand that it's just being naive
Right.
um about human anatomy or everything
Right.
of how that some some of my friends have gotten the same question, and they take it offensive. I have
Right.
not taken it offensive, as it all depends on who it's coming from. If it's coming from another bodybuilder who's been competing for a while, then I think they're either kidding or they're just plain silly
Yeah.
to ask that question. But I think people need to understand this is. I mean, I know a lot of people say this a lot, but it is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a long marathon, like, well, yeah, marathon is 26 miles, whatever. But
Yeah.
what I mean is, it doesn't have to be a long one where you're gonna achieve your goals in 10, 20 years, but you're gonna achieve them probably in earlier. But you got to remember that your genetics are gonna play a big part of it. So
Yeah.
I can say I had great genetics.
Hmm.
When I started lifting, I started growing for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
I was always an athlete. I used to run. Talking about marathon, I ran a couple marathons myself at a young age. One of
Uh-huh.
the youngest in at the time to ever run a marathon. And I played baseball, I boxed, I played football. I mean, tennis,
Yeah.
you name it.
Wow.
There was every sport I wanted to do so. My dad said the only way I'm going to keep you away from the streets, and because we lived in the hood, so
Yeah.
he said the only way I'm going to keep you off the streets and off the wrong friends is by putting you in every sport possible. So in
Why is
bodybuilding, I
that?
found my best. Or I loved it. I loved bodybuilding so much. I was a gymnast myself as well in high
Wow.
school, and I'm like, I got bored at every sport that I did except for baseball and bodybuilding.
Wow.
So
And you found your niche clearly because
yeah, I found it. I caught the bug in
yeah, and
'97.
they don't give out those pro cards real easy either. So
Oh, and then back
that's-
then it was super hard.
yeah,
So
and I was gonna say
uh
back then it was even
and
harder.
and and
So
right now it's still hard. It's not as easy. People think, oh yeah, they're giving pro cards here and there, whatever. Yeah, but then more people are competing
that's right.
because they feel like they're giving it away so easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you're not competing with this. I mean, I I I I want people to go and try to do the North Americans, the Masters Nationals.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself around 1,200 athletes, then
Yeah.
you think how easy it is to win your pro card.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a pro card in every division,
Hmm.
in every class.
But that's
But
1,200 people.
yes, but that's a lot of people that you're
Yeah.
competing against. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
It kind of balances out for sure. For sure. So anyway, with this one, I'm going to call it because I've got to edit this thing down and promote it. Luis, it has been an absolute pleasure. Let's do it again maybe in a few months and we can do an
Well,
update
no,
and
and
see the
anytime, I'm
yeah,
more than happy to do so. I appreciate again you guys having me here. So thank you very much for reaching out, and
absolutely.
it's been a pleasure talking to you. You're like a super cool dude. I love the hair, and
Right? Great minds think alike.
I mean, look at it.
There we go. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. And hopefully in a few months we can have like an after action report of how it went and what the next steps are for Puerto Rico and bodybuilding on the island with Luis and Tim Gardner Promotions. We're going to
Well,
see because you guys have big ambitious plans. Let's make them happen. So, everyone,
thank you so
thank you
much.
so much for your time. Comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And there's a bunch of information underneath these notes right here for you to go check out the show and get more information about everything we've discussed in this episode. So, with that, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.
All right, buddy.